Well, I'm on the road, guys. I'm in Texas on a long highway heading towards San Antonio. And I'm probably not going to get much further than that today. Because it took a good 3 hours to get out of the Houston area. Little complications. This begins a long series of van vlogs. Some of them will be on YouTube. Some of them are going to be on Archaix TV. But it's going to be on both. It's going to be on both. And it's going to be a lot of them. Subject matter for this one, I know you guys tired of me talking about Billy Carson. But this isn't going in the direction that you're anticipating. It wasn't long ago, about 2 years ago, that I began calling out Graham Hancock, Billy Carson, Corsetti, LaCroix, however you say his name, and several others. But for good reason. For good reason. Only calling out those individuals who consider themselves experts on what they're basically releasing to the public. I'm not a bully. I'm not picking on little bitty channels. I'm not doing any of that. Billy Carson put himself out there. You guys know my Shar song and my humorous little AI clips. And I've been chipping away at it, Billy, for a while, and I've even got predictions videos where I told you guys that what I'm doing is going to affect the entire community, because the more Billy Carson runs from a debate, and the more he keeps telling everybody that Archaix is just clout chasing, and that he's not going to come to the table and talk about the Shar being a day and not a year, which changes the entire Anunnaki narrative. The more he runs from this controversy, the more other podcast hosts and other channels are going to realize what's going on. Well, it's deeper than that. I didn't know until recently that some of these real big channels had a financial interest in Billy's success. I didn't know that he had investors that were also content creators. So these call outs and all these attacks I've done against the ancient aliens community and Billy Carson, people have been really paying attention, even to the point where a lot of these large channels have blocked the word Archaix from their comment sections. Some of you have tried to plug Archaix on other channels, and you'll find out that you can't even drop a comment about Archaix without it being deleted. That's fine, no big deal. Yeah, I'm no fan of Billy Carson, but those of you who have been paying attention to the details about this tailspin, this multi-pronged, very concerted attack against Billy Carson right now, you'll know there's nothing normal about this. Yeah, I'm kind of offended by it. This video is not attacking Billy Carson. As a matter of fact, I'm a little humbled to say it, but I still believe Billy Carson's absolutely wrong about his Anuna Shar count. You guys know I've published the data sets. I'm not going back on that. But I am not cool with how the YouTube Christian community has come together and bullied the shit out of this dude. Because that's exactly what's going on. And it's way too well choreographed. It's too organized to be naturally occurring. This took pre-planning. This is a lot of channels, most of them Christian channels, that are all clowning Billy Carson. Where were you 2 years ago when Billy Carson was saying the exact same things? Where were you? Where was your critique videos? So most of you know that it stems from a debate. Billy Carson got suckered into a debate, or maybe he willingly entered the debate knowing full well the guy was trained in apologetics. Okay, Billy Carson should have done his homework. The guy he debated cannot prove Christianity is true. The guy he debated is a graduate of Wesleyan Bible College. It's a pretty prestigious Bible college, but all it does is churn out a bunch of brainwashed individuals who are pre-programmed to believe in a certain paradigm. This is what they're trained to believe. They are not critical thinkers. Wes Huff is not a critical thinker. This man is trained like anybody else coming out of a seminary. The debate with Billy Carson in no way proves Christianity accurate. What it does is prove that Billy Carson has absolutely no idea what he's talking about concerning these early Christian documents. He doesn't know what an interpolation is. He doesn't understand that a lot of these Christian, especially Catholic monks, have rewritten and forged older text, created new text out of ex nihilo, and that scholars pretty much understand which Christian texts are fake, interpolated, redacted, and which ones are genuinely from the second century and the 3rd century AD. So what Wes Huff did was correct Billy Carson and make him look like an idiot. And that's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. But what Wes Huff did not do was prove in any way that Christianity is based off real, legitimate, historical incidents. Nor did Wes Huff make a case for that. But all of a sudden, I've warned you guys, I've been warning you in predictions videos for 4 years. I've been warning you guys that social media is going to be taken over by the Christian Reich. And we just saw what kind of power they have. About 20 different channels, probably networking together, just informed millions of people, when you add them all up together, about this debate. And these Christian commentary podcasters painted this whole scenario as if Billy Carson's wrong. Billy Carson is not wrong at all that Christianity is based off forged text, that Christianity, there's no history attached to this, that these are traditional, they're made up. Billy Carson's not wrong about that. The problem is that Billy Carson's not trained to deal with somebody who is trained in apologetics. So I stepped up to the plate and I did a public email to Wes Huff explaining that, hey man, I would appreciate if you come onto my channel and educate us on the first 2 centuries of the Christian religion. And I explained to Mr. Huff that I'm not Billy Carson. I'm not going to make those mistakes. And I know my material very, very well. And I put the challenge forth to the community that Wes Huff is unable in any way to prove that Jesus was real, a historical figure, and that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are a part of the original Christian documents. Yeah, that challenge is out there. So far, it's been a week, and Mr. Huff has remained silent. Instead, what he's doing is offensive. When I wrote that email, I thought I was dealing with a professional. I have since changed my mind. What's happening to Billy Carson is not moral and it's not ethical. It's not good at all. Just because I consider him an adversary, especially a research adversary, the way he is being bullied by Christian podcasters is very offensive to me. It should be offensive to you as well. There are many people who have said all the exact same things Billy Carson has said, but you don't see this networking of Christian podcasters taking all them apart. You don't see that. So there's something else going on behind the scenes, how Billy Carson came up on their radar. The only person in the field that was attacking Billy Carson was Archaix, and I did it methodically. I attacked the weakest link in the chain in the ancient aliens and alternative history community. The weakest link as far as those who had the largest followings. And I did it with great success until his own backers turned on him. That's what this is really about. But in turning on him, they want to use the Christian platform to take him down instead of providing any acknowledgement whatsoever in the field that Archaix is actually responsible for the tailspin of Billy Carson. That's fine. They can have their victory. but I'm not endorsing it. I'm not endorsing this attack against Billy Carson because it's cherry picked. I'm not impressed at all that this graduate, this aspiring PhD, is going to take that one interview and then turn around and do 5, 6, 7, or 8 small 2 to 5 minute clips and just steadily beat up a corpse. I thought I was dealing with a professional, but it's becoming very obvious to me that I'm dealing with somebody who is very juvenile in the social media sphere. This isn't cool at all. When you beat the crap out of somebody and they take a knee, you let off of them. But that's not what this guy is doing. These little twisting the daggers even more and more and more, this is agenda driven. Every assumption by a viewer to Wes Huff's videos is that Wes Huff's debate against Billy Carson is a success for Christianity, and it's not. If these podcasters aren't willing to come to the table and debate Jason of Archaix about the veracity of the first 200 years of the Christian religion, and if these texts are legitimate or not, and just exactly where Christianity came from, but they want to beat up on Billy Carson, who wasn't even qualified from the beginning to make the statements that he made, then you need to understand what's really happening here. This is an agenda. This is the beginning, like I foretold 4 years ago. This is the beginning of a social media paradigm where the Christian Reich is going to start singling out and moralizing on social media, basically determining for other people what is right and what is wrong, and using these victories as evidence that Christianity is legitimate while everybody else is not. This is what I'm seeing unfold right now. Wes Huff, you need to come to the table. You need to debate about this Christian. I don't give a damn about your education in apologetics, because I know what apologetics is. The reason it's called apologetics is because you literally have to apologize for the fact that there's no evidence for Christianity. I understand. I've studied apologetics. I am the perfect individual for you to debate, because I know early Christianity is all forgeries and it's all made up text. Every bit of it. Judeo-Christianity is a farce. It's 2024. Let me go ahead and write a full authoritative documentary on the Civil War. Civil War ended in 1865. Let's assume that not a single book was ever published about the Civil War. Nothing. No documentaries, no eyewitness testimony, no monuments were ever found, no battlefields are known. Let's assume that there's zero knowledge about the Civil War. And yet all of a sudden, in 2024, Jason publishes a book and calls it the authoritative, the authorized version of the Civil War. The analogy that I just provided for you is the exact same thing we find with the first 200 years of Christianity. Exact same scenario. Yeah. That's why Wes Huff hasn't answered my email. Being a student of apologetics will never prepare a man for the questions and the data that I will drop in a debate about the origins of Christianity. Simple as that. Facts are facts. No, man, this is real. Data sets don't lie, men do. So this focus, this hyper focus on Billy Carson is wrong. Can't stand the dude. He's a grifter. I don't like him. But I'm not cool with how he's being handled. I'm not cool with this bully shit that's going on in the community. Christian channels. I'm not cool with PBD, who gets millions of views, hundreds of thousands of people tuned into PBD. I am not cool with PBD having Billy Carson on his show and then running his mouth about me being a clout chaser and that I abused, he just got all the facts wrong, talking about I abused a 19-year-old juvenile, and just throwing this shit out there, and PBD getting the email from me and then ignoring it. When I said, hey man, I'm asking for equal play. You let this charlatan, you let this shill come on your channel. And I've called him out for debate on multiple issues and he won't come to the table. But you let him run his mouth on your venue. And here I am with all the information to collapse his house of cards. So it shows me that PBD is agenda driven. He works for the man, therefore, Patrick Bet David, there it is. That's all you gotta know. Patrick Bet David or Ben David, whatever his name is, yeah, he's controlled opposition. He's no different than Joe Rogan. He's no different. He signed the contract. He's not a truther. He's not trying to reveal the truth. All he's gonna do is have shill idiots on his channel filling you up with a bunch of bullshit. That's who you are, PBD. That's who you are. It's 2024, guys. It's too late to be polite. I've said this over and over and over. I'm never shutting up. I'm going to continue to do it. And right now, this whole Christian Reich is on my radar. Told you, I have barely even begun to drop dark scriptures videos. And all my old dark scriptures videos on the Old Testament, on the New Testament, they're getting redone. And they're getting redone with a whole lot of new data that's not even in the first videos. Yeah, this is BS. All these Christian podcast hosts attacking Billy Carson. You weren't attacking Billy Carson until you were told to. All of you did it at the same time. Every one of you have been cool with Billy Carson. None of you have done any videos on Billy Carson. And then all of a sudden, when Billy Carson gets his funding pulled, when Billy Carson's inner circle turns on him, yeah, all of a sudden, Billy Carson, it's open season on Billy Carson. December 2nd, this guy in Billy Carson's inner circle, the video's still up, attacks Billy Carson with detailed, specific information that could get him into a lot of trouble with the IRS. Yeah, at the same time exhibiting a massive amount of passive aggression, talking about, I really hate to do this. I would never do this. This little hobbit-looking dude, Anton, basically collapsed Billy Carson's empire with this information. It's full tailspin. And you know what? For whatever reason he did it, I'm going to tell you now, in the first 41 seconds of watching that video, it's very apparent to me that he's putting distance between himself and Billy Carson. And you know what? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what this hobbit is selling. I'm not buying it because you were with him for 6 years of the grift. My people were in your chat telling you that Archaix says this. Archaix has already exposed Billy Carson and all this. And you told my people in the chat, and we screenshot it, that you have never heard of Archaix. And yet you've been with Billy Carson for 6 years. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Craig Braden's a liar when he told his community he's never heard of Jason of Archaix. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of liars out there in the field. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm calling everybody out. Anybody who comes on my radar, I will call you out. It's way too late to be polite. I'm morally angered. I'm indignant over this behavior over Billy Carson. And it's coming from Christians. Allah Akbar. Praise Jesus. Oh my F. I have never met a more hypocritical, toxic, venomous people than those who believe they are allied to God. I love my Christian brothers and sisters, but it's also my Christian brothers and sisters that are the most closed-minded people I have ever met. Programmed to believe in things that are absolutely, patently untrue. I do not understand how intelligent people can believe that a loving God is going to send you to eternal hellfire for something you don't believe. I can't believe intelligent people have bought the lie of the church that you were born in sin. You haven't even done anything. Why should you be condemned? All you did was get born. Well, the church took care of that because they created a new doctrine that you're born in sin. You're already guilty before you're even conceived. The whole religion is so toxic. It's so toxic. Programming is real, guys. The programming is real. I listen to these Christian podcasters and my blood curls. The hairs go up on my arms and my skin. It's like when I listen to them, it's like, wow, you truly believe, man, that this man was whipped. And then after being whipped, that he was really alive, because the whipping killed people. The cat o' nine tails was not designed for men to survive. It ripped the skin off their backs. It had bones, shark's teeth, and iron fillings in it, and it literally ripped people down to their rib cages, and they died. And you literally believe they strapped a cross onto this dude, and he still had, after all that blood loss and loss of flesh on his back, he was able to carry his cross and then turn around and be crucified and survive long enough to refuse a drink. And come on, guys, use your heads. The 1st century AD is the most well documented because we have all these documents for the 1st century and none of them are Christian. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what these guys that are trained in apologetics will not tell you about the 1st century AD. It's crazy. Yeah, man, not impressed. I thought Wes Huff was a professional. I'm changing my mind. The more Billy Carson videos he continues to drop, I am totally changing my mind about this guy. His behavior is pedantic. His behavior is unprofessional. He's acting like a bully while keeping a straight face, smiling, and all this passive aggression about, yeah, I'm not cool with it, guys. Jason of Archaix is not cool with what's happening with Billy Carson. And I genuinely feel sorry for the dude. I do. Not cool with it, man. I don't want anybody in my community to be cool with it either, but I can't tell you what to think. I can't opine for you. I can't do any of this. All I can do is be me and exhibit to you the architecture of my personality, what makes me tick. And when my spirit is vibrating at such an intensity as it is now, and how my heart is going out to Billy Carson right now, after all this time I've spent, you know, he's attacked me personally. Guys, you guys don't even know the email campaign he did against me. It wasn't to the public. It was to all these other truthers and all these other content creators and all these people in Ancient Aliens and all these other networks. Billy Carson emailed them all and basically told them, watch out for this guy. Don't worry about it. He's an ex-con. He's violent. Don't talk to him. Billy Carson got me blacklisted from going on all kinds of podcasts everywhere, because people looked up to him and they didn't want to piss him off. Billy Carson did that to me. And yet still, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not cool with how all these Christians are clicking on Billy Carson right now over some BS that doesn't even substantiate Christianity and doesn't even provide an ounce of data to the veracity of any Christian documents of the first 2 centuries BC. I mean AD. Doesn't at all. At all. Christian podcasters are so desperate for any data that will justify their belief that they're never going to have me on their channel. Every single Christian podcaster out there who is exposed or tried to attack Billy Carson using this scenario, this is an open challenge. You can call me onto your platform, and I promise you, anybody you put in that studio with me concerning the origins of Christianity is going to be humble, because I know my material. I know my material real well, and I know there is no way, using the historical record, any man will ever be able to prove or show any evidence whatsoever that Jesus was a real man with 12 disciples and crucified with an earthquake and sun darkening happening in 33 AD. No one will ever be able to defeat me in a debate about that. Challenge is out there. Yeah, don't talk shit about JasonArchaix. Line that shit up. That's what you do. Yeah, get off Billy Carson's ass and get on Jason's ass. That's what you do. Can't stand you hypocritical bastards. Praise Jesus. Got a lot of love for my Christian brothers and sisters. A lot of my supporters in Archaix are Christians. Christianity is not about believing in the actual material crucifixion of Christ. True Christianity is about the spirit within. The oversoul would never put you into a situation where eternal damnation is even a possibility. Anyone who even tried to consider that eternal damnation in hellfire and punishment doesn't even know who God is. You're not even close to understanding how cool, how awesome the oversoul is. Not even close. So toxic. So fed up with you people. Billy Carson, if you're listening to this, man, you know what? I'm burying the hatchet. I ain't doing no more videos on you. You already know a shar is a day. You've already seen the data. I'm not attacking you anymore, man. Yeah. I was raised on the battlefield. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I walked through closed custody, maximum security, administrative segregation, administrative cell restriction, medium custody, maximum security prisons almost all my life. And when you walk through that damn rec yard with your chest stuck out, everybody knows. I mess with that when I got a tussle on my hands. I didn't win every fight, but I ain't never backed down from one either. And in the podcast community, I'm never gonna back down. I'm a warrior by heart. And one thing that separates true warriors from bullies is the fact that when a man takes a knee, you back off of him. Back off. If a man's been hit too hard, if a man has been critically injured, if a man is just tired and knows he can't fight anymore, or he doesn't have the heart for the fight no more because he knows ethically or morally he's really in the wrong, and he takes a knee, then you back off. That's not what we have Christians doing. We have all these hypocritical, forgiveness-preaching Christian podcasters just twisting the dagger in Billy Carson. The man has already fallen. You guys suck. You guys absolutely suck. And don't believe that dude Anton for a minute. I just want the community to know what kind of guy Billy Carson is. No, what you did is you revealed to the community what kind of guy you are. For 6 years, you were in on every one of Billy Carson's grifts. For 6 years, you financially supported Billy Carson when he was being called out by me and getting embarrassed over and over and over and over. You and every other financial supporter of Billy Carson's forbidden knowledge have been embarrassed over and over and over every single time Jason of Archaix has called Billy Carson out and he's made excuses as to why he didn't want to debate. That's what this is really about. Billy Carson did this to himself. It doesn't make him a bad fellow. I have already told my community that there is genuine good material in Billy Carson's presentations. Do I think Billy Carson is qualified to talk about simulation theory? No, because he uses ChatGPT-4. No. Do I think he's qualified to talk about some spiritual things? I've heard some good come out of his mouth. I have. But that doesn't mean he didn't listen to some Dolores Cannon video and then turn around and repackage it. I don't know. Do I think Billy Carson is qualified to tell you about crypto? Hell no. There's a bunch of people mad at him behind that. Do I think Billy Carson has genuine information about ancient mysteries? I do. I've heard some good from that man. I've heard him talk about some interesting things. He's even said things, he's even made some connections that Zechariah Sitchin didn't make. Do I think Billy Carson is an original researcher? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Billy Carson is not an author. He's not a researcher. He's not in that community. Therefore, he has no respect from true authors and true researchers. But what Billy Carson has brought to the table, He has a very unique ability of absorbing a lot of perspectives and a lot of independent data that he gets on YouTube, that he gets from different sources, that he watches on Netflix and documentaries. And he's able to put that material together with his imagination and make connections and provide some very interesting material from time to time that gets people to think. What I'm trying to tell you, in the truther community, Billy Carson's like level 1. That doesn't make him a bad fellow. Everybody's got to be somewhere. And a lot of people who just start awakening, he's the type of person they really need to listen to. Archaix is not for level 1 truthers. From the inception of my channel, I have told people, listen, I'm not gonna dumb things down for you. I'm not gonna try to do things to help you catch up. Archaix is not for a level 1 truther at all. You just got to get in where you fit in. And a lot of people have struggled with that and left and ended up coming back. Some of them came back, some of them didn't. So be it. Others hung around for a year or two and finally started absorbing the material and understanding it. And in the process of just listening to my podcast and listening to my uploads and presentations, they became a level 2 truther. And you guys know I'm at Archaix 3.0 now. We're taking truth to we're at 3.0 right now. Yeah, Billy Carson's level 1. He's providing for, baby Phoenix version stuff. Will I ever befriend him? No, I won't. Why? Because he used my criminal history against me and attacked me professionally by contacting all these professionals by email. So friendship's off the table. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this to be his friend. Yeah, the man need not even try to contact me. I'm not trying to be his friend, but I'll always be polite. I'll always be polite, and I'm just not cool with what's happening to him. I'm not cool with this Christian hypocrisy. Yeah, I'm not cool with this whole Christian Reich attitude of considering this a win for Christianity. Just because Billy Carson took a fall doesn't automatically mean that Christianity it was in for the win. It's not. It's not. And for Wes Huff to act so childish now, this has become really childish what he's doing. Yeah, one single debate has been turned into all these shorts. Yeah, he's really capitalizing, guys. When I first came on Wes Huff's channel, he had 21,000 views, and I did that email, and he got 10,000 views from Archaix. He got over 10,000 subs from the Archaix community. As soon as I plugged him, his sub count went up dramatically. I regret that I did that. I totally regret that I drew attention to Wes Huff, because I believe now he's a fraud. He's a professional fraud. Not cool, man. Not cool. But that's all I've ever seen from the Christian community. It's called cherry picking. It's called practicing exclusions. I don't see any Christians out there wanting to debate someone who's qualified to counter all that BS. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I know this, my email is public. So there's no excuse for all these other podcasters. There's no excuse for PBD. There's no excuse for Joe Rogan. CIA ass. There ain't no excuse for any of these people not to have had me in the studio debating one of these guys. No excuse. They should have had me debating Billy Carson or Graham Hancock a long time ago. And I understand why. Because they're controlled opposition. PBD, so was that other dude. Man, I wish I could remember that guy with the mustache. But he's been on Billy Carson. He's been on Billy Carson's been on the show. Graham Hancock's been on the show. I can't remember this guy. He's up there with PBD. He's a Jewish guy with a handlebar and mustache. I can't remember this guy's name, but every time Graham Hancock says something, He crosses his legs and guffaws like Graham Hancock just said something just absolutely genius. Yeah, man, it's all staged, guys. You got to know these gigantic channels that get hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views are all controlled opposition, guys. You can tell by who they interview, and you can tell. Because I'm going to tell you now, you don't think it's big news that somebody with 166,000 subs, who's published 17 books, who's called out professionals in their genre across the board and has not ever had a challenge met? You don't think that's big news? Of course it's big news. You don't think they all know who I am? Of course they know who I am. So what's really happening? Jason of Archaix took Billy Carson apart. Jason of Archaix did that. But instead, they gave it to the Christians. They gave the win to the Christians to promote something that Jason of Archaix predicted was going to happen. The Christian Reich is going to start taking over social media and determining all kinds of things, what is morally right and what's morally wrong on social media. Yeah, man, I nailed that prediction. We've already seen it in politics. I said it was going to happen in politics too. That's why you got all these politicians push going hard. That's why all of a sudden all these major personalities suddenly went Christian and going hard. That black chick, what's her name? I don't even care what her name is. You guys know what I'm talking about. Going hard, comes from politics, going hard on Christianity now. You guys all know the child catcher from the 2012 Olympics. I'm not even going to name him. You know who I'm talking about. He's 100% Christian. That's all he talks about now. Knowing damn well he's not. 33rd degree Mason on his hand. Shit's real, guys. Shit's real. It's real and it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening. So I just wanted to tell you guys that this is the first of many podcasts. Well, not podcasts, but these are the first of many van vlogs on this trip. I'm still in Texas. Just did my meetup. This is the first of many van vlogs. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff. But what's mainly on my heart right now is how the Christian Reich has come together, a concerted effort, and just bullied down Billy Carson, acting like it's a victory for Christianity, while allowing the community to perceive something that is false. What is being actually pushed here is that this guy Anton is innocent. He's not. He was a part of Billy Carson's crew. He was a part of Billy Carson's grift. And he was cool with all the financial scams. He was cool with everything going on in Billy Carson's world until he wasn't cool anymore. So it kind of begs the question, what changed? Why all of a sudden did all the big names turn on Billy Carson? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to keep talking about it. Jason of Archaix took that boy down. But it's Christians for the win.